What's good everyone, yadiiiigg, 4 eyes, 2 G's here, and continuing my videos on the XXL freshman series, I thought I would share my thoughts on what I think to be the worst list in the history of the series. Now, in my humble opinion, this has got to be the 2015 list by a mile, and I'm going to break down artist by artist and show you how many artists there are that were on their list that just aren't relevant right now. Also, keep in mind that this list was only 4 years ago now, so there are basically no excuses, especially when you compare this to lists from 2011, 12, and 13 that all have much better track records. But let's break it down.
My feeling far beyond what is wrong, trying to make you feel it. Elevate my songs and my pain. I ain't saying I ain't playing it the same as these other motherfuckers playing games with the flame, playing games with the flame. Tear shots to the brain. I thought I was saying, you thought I was playing, you thought I was playing. Now the other motherfuckers throwing shots at the kid, get ripped cause you always throwing shots at the kid.
Firstly, let's kick it off with Fetty Wap, and at this point there are so many videos about Fetty's fall off, and everybody kinda knows what happens here. Since 2016, he's been essentially irrelevant. You guys already know this, so that's one of one. Next, let's move on to yadiiiigg, who at one point was actually primed to be kind of the next big mainstream female R&B rapper artist, and she had a strong start. She had a couple nice little hits, she had the XXL spot which gave her a nice boost, but then after that she pretty much nosedived. She had a hit again in 2017, but that never really turned into a run or something bigger, and right now she's probably missed her opportunity and definitely didn't do what people were expecting her to do, and in my opinion, kind of flopped. So with yadiiiigg, that's 2 from 2, and make sure to let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. What year that you think is the worst, what year had the most fall-offs and all that, I want to know, so make sure to comment down below. But let's keep this moving, and kind of along the same lines as yadiiiigg, we get to Tink. And Tink is pretty much a similar story to yadiiiigg, minus the hits. She still has a solid core fan base that really ride for her, but I remember at the time of the XXL list, there was so much talk about her being the next big thing, that she was going to blow up and take over, but she just didn't really do anything after the list. Props to her because she's still grinding and putting out a lot of music, but it just isn't connecting, and she's still yet to have a commercial hit. So adding Tink, that's 3 from 3, but let's hold it up there, add some balance, and talk about Vince Staples, who I have nothing but good things to say about. I really gravitated towards Vince with 2014's Hell Can Wait, and see him glow up since then has been really great to witness, and I'm happy to see him getting the praise and success he deserves. He has released great project after great project, and honestly has amassed a bigger audience than I thought he probably would, and there is no doubt that Vince is someone who is going to be around for a long time, whether it be making music or just as a personality. So adding Vince, that makes it 3 from 4, because Vince definitely didn't fall off and actually did something since the list, so we don't include him in that category. Also guys, before I go on, quick shout out from my Instagram. Big shout out goes to Bad Fish Joseph for showing me love, appreciate that. If you guys haven't yet, do make sure to follow me on IG at yadiiiigg, link in the description. Also a reminder about my Cardi and Travis merch tees, we have those on deck. They're fire, links in the description to cop as well. Also make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. But let's get back to it. And moving on, we get to K Camp, who you definitely can't say didn't pop off or wasn't irrelevant or anything like that over his initial couple years, because he started off with a nice string of hits, but after the XXL list, his career kind of went the total opposite of what's meant to happen, and he pretty much hasn't been heard of since in the mainstream. That's no doubt. So add K Camp to the list, and that's 4 from 5. Next up is Rory, and Rory's career can be summed up very quickly because that's how it came and went. Very quickly. He had a few cool sing-songy-esque tracks, he got himself a nice deal with Columbia, and he also had a decent buzz on the internet at one point in time. But then he released his debut album and went triple cardboard, selling 700 copies, and since then, it's never been the same. And I can't remember the last time somebody actually mentioned him. Shout out to his feature on Escape 120 from Joey Badass's album though, that was really good. But yeah, unfortunately, Rory, another false start from this list. That makes it 5 from 6. Next we move on to OG Maco, and there's no real qualms about what happened to OG Maco. Unfortunately, things just didn't pan out for him post you guessed it, and it led to him falling into irrelevancy pretty fast. I'm not trying to crack too many jokes or anything like that on him, because clearly there have been some serious health issues affecting him as of late, so my best wishes for him. But undoubtedly still you have to admit he did fall off, so that's 6 from 7. And plodding along we get to Shygie, and Shy has been on his grind, that's for sure, but it just hasn't happened for him like that yet. I personally do like some of his music, but calling a spade, since the XXL he hasn't really gone anywhere, and he hasn't really done anything to establish himself as an artist like that. So that's 7 from 8, and digressing we get to Kid, And come on, I don't even have to say anything with Kid Kid. It's crazy to think he was on Mrs. Officer from Carter 3, what a classic, but Kid Kid dissipated into irrelevance, so that's 8 from 9. And lastly we get to GoldLink, and for GoldLink it took a little while to happen, but when Crew came along and really opened up the doors for him, he's been really able to take off and build a solid fan base, add in a couple decent projects, and he's definitely done well for himself. And I think out of the crop of artists that kind of make his similar sounding music, I personally probably like him the most, or is at least the top 2, top 3 for me, and I think he'll be around for a while longer. And I think Vince Staples and GoldLink are really the only success stories from this list, and if you've been following along, that's 8 out of 10 artists that are basically non-existent in the game today which were on this list, which I think makes it by far the worst list almost undoubtedly, especially since 2015 wasn't even that long ago. So to have that many fall offs in such a short period of time, I think just makes the list a flop. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications as well, and there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Do make sure to check them out if you haven't.